Now my wheels in motion and my windows open with the wind blowing in my hair. I'm driving down the highway, gonna do this my way. I can feel it in the air. Here I go.
Live from the Volvo 780 studios in Anywhere, USA. This is JJDrones Live. And now, here's JJDrones.
And let me turn that down. How's everybody doing today? Welcome to JJDrones Live, coming to you from Rochelle, Illinois. We have Barack. How are you doing, Barack? Good to see you. We've got Bobby from Time to Get Going. Good to see you, Bob. And we've also got Chris Wedgeworth. How are you doing, Chris? We have Some Old Man Outdoors. And then we have my dad, Dave Johnson, all coming in today to watch this conversation about the Wisconsin Motor Carriers Association Truck Driving Championships. Also, later on in the show, for the people that are part of the subscription base of this channel, we're going to be giving away a JJDrones t-shirt. So that's going to be something we're going to talk about later. But first, let's get some of these other things out of the way at first. JJDrones 360 is the website you can go to for all information JJ Drones. And you can see my video uploads, and you can also see uploads of people that wanted to have their videos featured on the website. And I do that Sunday to Sunday. You can have your video featured by emailing me, jason@jjdrones360.com. And if you give me your video, I will feature it for a week. Also, you can go to buymeacoffee.com, JJDrones, if you would like to financially help support this channel. But before I lose my guest here, I'm going to go ahead and bring him in. His name's Carl Marks. He's been driving truck for over 20 years. He was a fellow member of the Wisconsin Road Team. He has competed in the Truck Driving Championship before. I'm sure multiple times. I did it once, but I'm sure he's done it multiple times. And he has over 2 million miles of safe driving. So everybody give a nice warm welcome to a guy that I consider my friend, and hopefully he considers me his friend, Carl Marks. How you doing, Carl?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good to see you. Everybody loves you. So how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me. I'm actually sitting in my car right now.
I can see that. Just make sure that if it's too hot outside, that you crack the window open and leave the air conditioning running or something. That don't want the animals control to come over and sue me or something.
Right. Yeah, it's actually not too bad weather-wise right now. It's raining, but the sun's not beating down on me, so it's actually pretty comfortable in here.
Perfect. No, I kind of gave a quick synopsis about your driving history, so why don't you fill in the people, where are you from, how old are you, when did you get into the trucking industry, just a background about your career.
Yeah, I got my CDL when I was 18. I started working on the dock, loading and unloading trailers, being a yard spotter, working with dispatch, safety, at an early career, right out of high school. I grew up in the trucking industry, primarily the LTL side of things, from my grandparents, my dad, uncles, aunts, cousins. We're all in the business. and have been for a while. I've just about over 2 million miles safe driver, accident free. I've been on the Wisconsin road team I can't be on it anymore since I currently moved to Illinois, but
Right.
I was on the Wisconsin road team for 6 years, and then I have a dream one day of hoping making America's road team. We'll see what the future holds with that. So yeah, I got a long history. I got knowledge, and I like to teach it, and I like to learn more every day too.
Now, you and I, we've been talking for a few days. This isn't, a random thing that, we just kind of came up with. So we've been talking for a few days, and this isn't going to be the first time that you're going to be on the show. We're going to do a couple other shows with you, and I do appreciate you giving me your time to go over all that. We're going to talk about safety around trucks using motorcycles. We're going to talk about going into the trades versus doing the college thing. We're going to do a lot of things with discussions with you. So I do appreciate you allowing everybody to hear what you have to say about that, because I know that you have a lot of good feedback and information for people that are looking into even going to college, that maybe they could go a different route. Hey, how's it going, Moon over Miami? Good to see you here. So now with the truck driving championship, when you were getting ready to compete over there, how would you begin to prepare yourself for that?
The day of, or just the few weeks before?
Probably a few weeks before, and then the day of.
Okay, well, I mean, they'll hand out a book called Facts for Drivers for the written portion, which you do the first night. It's a lot of information. You have trucking history, you have acronyms, you have medical things you have to learn, some of the rules and regulations, that were implemented, and what the dates were. A lot of knowledge. And the questions on that test, they can be difficult. I mean, you really have to watch your words and read it, but they give you plenty of time to take the test. So I always tell people, don't rush through it. It's worth a lot of points. Me personally, I never did well on the written test.
That's the one part of the competition that I actually did well in, because last year I scored the second in the state of Wisconsin, and 80 something in the entire country. So the written portion I can do well.
Yeah, and that's good. And some people, they test well, by book. Others test well, driving or doing a pre-trip. So I always tell people, if you're going to lack in one area, try and practice more in others, so you can, maybe make up the points too, if possible. But the written test, it is hard. So definitely read the book whenever you can, but space yourself out. You don't want to fill your knowledge, read too much of it, because then you're just going to get confused. So just take it day by day. They give you the book, hopefully in plenty of time. I always received it even a month before the actual competition. So take a chapter at a time, or just read a paragraph here and there, and just write things down.
Most of us have the half-hour break anyway. Well, all of us have the half-hour break anyway. So take your half-hour break, and while you're sitting around, instead of watching my YouTube videos. I'm not saying that you should be doing that, but instead of watching my YouTube videos on your break, at least during this time, I'll allow you to read the booklet and get ready for the exam.
Yeah, so some other things that I would do So when you do your pre-trip portion and try to prepare for it, I mean, really, if you're driving, you're prepared for it every day, either before your or before you start driving. Depending on how long you're driving, you'll do a mid-driving inspection,
Right.
and then you have your post inspection at the end of your day. And the difference, though, is, I mean, you really have to look for things even more, because they can't, stuff that could be defective on your route, their defect, it's they draw like a line on the lens or something, signifying a crack. It's not actually cracked. So
Right.
there's a big difference, to when it comes to looking for that stuff. But just make sure you're doing your pre-trip. Obviously, even if you're not competing, make sure you're looking at everything correctly. And then as far as driving, the course is just like driving on the road in a lot of ways. You just don't know it, and make sure that you're going to do a walkthrough also at the time of the competition. You'll get to walk through the course, ask questions,
Right.
and you write stuff down, study the problems. There's going to be 6 problems that you're going to have to drive through, each worth 50 points, 50 being greater, 10 being less, or 0. And I think I've done probably about 15 competitions, and each time, even the same problem, it was still different in a small way. So
Right.
it doesn't matter how many years you've done it, there's always gonna be something different. And you may excel at it last time, and you may bomb it this time. I've done that before, where I've scored high on the obstacle, and then one year it's like I had the lowest score in my class.
Right.
So again, experience, it goes a long way, but it's not the final thing out there.
No, because a lot of these guys that have, 20 or more years of experience that go into the competition, they end up bombing it because they just weren't prepared for what they were coming into. And I completely understand that, because my first year competing, I had no idea. And I had a couple mentors that would talk me through it over the phone.
Mhm.
But talking through it over the phone doesn't give you the same kind of information that actually physically going out there and do it. I mean, it's a lot of fun. The guys that you meet on the course and that you talk to are people that you're going to know pretty much for the rest of your life. But it's a healthy competition, and there's a lot of trash talking that goes on.
Yes, there is. Yeah, there's a lot of people that'll bring past score sheets. So if you say something, chances are
They sure. Yep.
they got it jotting down to see if you're lying about it or not.
Now, the pre-trip inspection, I'm glad that you brought that up, because like you said, so kind of explain how that goes. They've got a truck that would pass any kind of inspection, really, but you said that they like put through a line or something like that. I seem to recall the year that I did it, when I did the pre-trip inspection, underneath where the kingpin and the fifth wheel go together, they put a bird's nest there.
Yeah, they've done some weird things, and they definitely make you look. I've came across where one lug nut was loose, or they'll put a line on the rim signifying a crack. And
Right.
it may just look like a spot of grease.
Right.
So they could have put in there, or it could have been there from the previous use of the vehicle. So I always tell people, if you remember CDL, all right, crack, damage, loose, or leaking, if any of that stuff could be on that vehicle, you call it out.
Right.
Regardless if you think it's old or new, if they planted it or didn't, call it out, because you're only gonna gain more points if you call things out and actually get the correct answers. So, and there's times too where I thought, man, I called out so many things. I got this, I did good,
Right.
And
Yep.
then I hear, a few weeks later, people talking about, it's like, oh man, I really bombed that one. But, and then there's there's rules too that you have to follow. So they always, the first day of the competition, it's the night of the written test, but they're gonna
Right.
have a driver's meeting also,
Right.
and they're gonna tell you the do's and don'ts, stuff they really enforce, and stuff they're, hey, if we catch you, you'll get a couple, warning, but they're gonna explain that, and you really need to listen, because I've only done Wisconsin state competitions. I was gonna do this year in Illinois, but it fell on our anniversary. So as I told you, I don't
Right.
think my wife would want to sit around there. So I
Yeah,
opted out not to do that this year.
you're going to be in a lot of trouble if you do a truck driving competition versus taking the missus out for the anniversary. That's for dang sure.
Right, exactly.
Now the year that I did the competition during the drivers meeting the night before, it was pretty much a hush hush. They didn't want anybody bringing cameras to the course. You got to take a look at the trucks and everything. Is that pretty much standard for every competition?
It seems to be, yes. Before I was doing state competitions, I was doing regional competitions for a previous employer, and they had the same setup. We're allowed to ask questions, but keep in mind, if there's questions that you're going to ask, they may not be able to answer that, because that could lead into different things where they
Right.
don't want to get into. And also, you have to pay attention at these driver meetings in the beginning, because they get very agitated if people are asking the same questions over and over and over, to the point where I've seen them turn off the slide and say, hey, you really need to start paying attention to this stuff. So it doesn't
Right.
matter, again, if you've done it 20 times, 2 times, or this is your first year as a rookie entering the competition, please pay attention, and there's nothing worse than having to hear people, ask the same question over and over. And
Right.
that goes with anything though, but they're going to tell you the do's and don'ts. Like, if you're in a sleeper unit, or if you're inspecting a sleeper unit, you don't go in the bunk, or you don't check the side compartments outside. The trailer is going to always be dispatched empty. You don't go underneath the hood. You look underneath the vehicle, but not the actual, in the engine bay and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
You don't start the vehicle, but everything else is pretty much a go as far as stuff that you have to look for inside and outside, of the unit. And then, you are timed. Now, I don't know if that varies by state, but there is a time limit, and they'll give you, I believe it's a minute notice. That way, that you got to get going here. So
Right.
either catch up, or just run through and try to get something.
Right. And it really is the time-based thing is comes into play, especially when you and another person are basically tied, and whoever has the better time is going to get the points for that.
Right.
Before we go on, we've got a couple new people coming into the live stream. We've got NJ Fishing Maniac and Stormy Sky Rail Productions. That's Jenny and Steve over there in Maquanago. And then we've got, let's see here. I already said hi to Bob from Time to Get Going. Said hi to Chris. And let's see here. Who else came in here? I know I said hi to Moons over Miami. And I know I forgot to say hi to my stepmom, Nancy, because she said hi. So sorry about that. And I know I said hi to my dad. So I think I pretty much got everybody covered. Now, you were talking about the sleeper. So why don't you go into a little bit of a description over the different classes of competition? Because some people may think that I drive a box truck, I can't compete in that. That's just for the big trucks, right? So why don't you just kind of give a brief explanation of the different classes?
Sure. So you're gonna have your sleeper class. Then you're gonna have the day cabs, which are done with a 5-axle, 4-axle, and 3-axle. Then you're gonna have the doubles class or twins class with the 2 trailers.
Right.
And then you're gonna have a tank trailer class and is a straight truck class. And then I know they were doing the step van. I don't know if they're still doing that also. Or they do the step van, but then they don't. Step van was like the only one that didn't go to nationals. But again, I don't know if stuff changed. So there is a couple different classes you can choose from. I also know at one time, if you wanted to be in a class, but then something changed, maybe the day of, they would ask you to compete in a different one.
Right.
But again, I've also heard some states would tell you what class you're going to be in. So I haven't come across that. But I have heard that from a few individuals in other portions
Right.
of the states. So, and I've done all the classes except for the step van one. And
Oh, come on.
maybe one day I'll do that, but it's almost the opposite of when people are like, oh, that's for the big trucks. And it's like, I don't know, that seems like I don't want to drive the small ones like that.
I think the smaller ones would actually be harder than driving the big 53 footers because you're just so used to it.
Right. Yeah. As I told you before, I drive a lot of, the triples,
Right.
double 45s, 48s.
Right.
So, the step van would be something different. I tell you what.
So, obviously, you're not going to be able to do the same things with the doubles and the triples than you would with, let's just say, the 53-foot trailers. What is the difference in the competition? Let's say somebody is driving for a company and they're doing, doubles and triples and they want to compete in that. What would be the difference in their driving portion of the course?
Well, the doubles class, obviously, the only thing that's different with the doubles is they don't back up. They don't have a backup alley dock or anything. Chances are they throw another turn in there. Whereas all the other classes, there's always going to be, from my experience, there's always a backup problem.
Right.
So everybody would do the backup problem with the exception of the doubles class, and I've seen them throw in a left turn, or I've even seen where they just got to go through a straight line, and follow it, not hit the cones.
Right.
But typically, it's always, from my experience, it was always just another turn or another stop of some sort.
Now, why don't you go into the turn part of the test? Because when you're doing doubles and triples, that's going to be a little bit trickier because people don't realize this, but they're going to judge you based on your turn, how close you are to the cones and away from the cones without hitting them, right?
Yeah, and they can mix that up year by year, where they could put the 50 on the closer side or the 50 on the outer side. So that's why it's very important to remember during the walkthrough what they're going to do. Now, if there's a change they have to make for whatever reason, they will let you know, the day of. But yeah, I mean, you really got to watch, your setup. And if you drive doubles a lot, you're going to make these turns regardless. So when you're making turns while you're driving, or just in any class for that matter, you know, if you're going to be competing, you're going to be backing up or turning, or, or if you're in a yard by yourself, maybe test yourself a little bit each day in practice, maybe doing a front stop or a scale stop. If you can make a turn without pinching your trailers together, or, jackknifing your one trailer, whatever you can do safely where you're at. I always tell people take full advantage of it. Same thing with the course of the competition. Use the space provided, because you can only get so many pull-ups, and take your pull-ups. If you're not, it's almost like a state DMV test or something like that. You're allowed 2 pull-ups without getting points deducted. Well, use what the advantage that they give you to help you out. Because I'd rather see somebody make 2 pull-ups than somebody try to just go for it in one shot, and then they score a 0, because once you score that 0, there's no going back.
And you're not gaining any points by not using your pull-ups. So use all of the pull-ups that you have. Use all available real estate in front of you. That's kind of a thing that I've always said to new guys when they're learning to drive. Now, if you're going to go through and you're going to do the competition and you're not going to be able to make it to the walkthrough the night before, what's the likelihood that you're going to succeed at that course? Probably
not very well. But you know what? Some people got luck all around them. I've seen it, and I don't know. I haven't come across it myself, so I'm always going to show up, because I don't want any surprises on the day of.
The only surprises that you want to have are in the pre-trip inspection, right?
Right. But see, the pre-trip, they won't. There's no walkthrough for pre-trip. There's only a walkthrough through the course. So, the pre-trip is the day of, and when they'll take you on a golf cart or something too. I mean, you can't see the course before, and even afterwards, you still can't go to the course. I mean, they try to put that, a mile away in the parking lot so nobody can see it, because they want to keep it top secret. And then keep in mind, to the audience that, don't talk about the pre-trip after you're done, because if somebody catches you, you will be disqualified, or you subject your team to be disqualified for sharing answers.
And that's the other thing too. It's not only an individual event; it's also for the larger trucking carriers that actually have multiple drivers in the event. It's a team event, so not only do you get scored individually, but let's say Expo or think of other companies in Wisconsin, or Schneider. If they have a whole bunch of drivers in the competition, they'll get all of their points scored together, and then whoever has the best team score in the end gets the team trophy at the end.
Correct.
Now, why don't you explain what throwing the fact that you're not driving your truck into the mix on the course, because you're walking into somebody else's truck that you have no experience with, and everything, it doesn't all work the same as the truck that you're used to driving.
Yeah, so they'll give you the opportunity. Again, well, I should say, I can't speak for every state, but from my experience, you do get the opportunity to view the class that you're doing. They'll have all the trucks, sitting bobtailed in a parking lot, so you can go inside and inspect them. You can walk around them. It could be automatic. It could be a manual transmission. There's no saying that. It is what it is. Whatever shows up is what you're going to drive. Now, a lot of the trucks are, spec'd out to the same when it comes to like the LTL side of things. I can't speak so much for the sleepers because I have limited experience with sleepers. But yeah, if you're driving a Volvo every day as a line haul driver, then you jump into this competition. Now you got to drive a international Pro Star. Well, yeah, but it's it could be difficult because of the hood length, the mirrors placements. On the competition, they got all the hood mirrors taped over. Oh, and the mirrors too. Speaking of the mirrors, when you start your driving part of the competition, you get one opportunity to move your mirrors, and if they catch you while you're driving, then you
can't do it again. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So that's why you take full advantage of looking at the truck that you're going to be driving the day of the obstacle course, and even if you've driven a Volvo, I mean, there's different types of Volvos also. There's different types of, internationals and Freightliners. The models could be just a little bit different and you may not know about it, but that's why it's very important to look at that stuff.
Right. And when I competed, I was driving for JBS at the time, and I was driving a T680 on a pretty regular basis. And then when I competed, I was competing in the sleeper division, obviously. But when I got there and I saw what I was driving, I've never driven international Pro Star before. So I didn't even know how to put it into gear.
Right.
let alone, drive. And we're not talking that you go out there and you put it into, fifth gear and, go around the lot or the course. You put it into first gear and you pretty much idle around the course because you want to be slow and you want to be accurate because they're judging you based on your turns, your speed, and making sure that you're driving around safely and that you're meeting all your marks because, like Carl said, you're going to be judged on your turns. There's a pit area, like if you were going to drive over a scale, they got cones on both sides. They want to make sure that you can drive right through the center. And then there's an alley dock, and I think that was about it with the sleeper class. I mean, and with the alley dock, we talked about this before. We're so used to bumping a dock every time that we back up. But in this scenario, they want you to back as close to the cones as you possibly can without hitting them. And I don't have like the best depth perception. So when I did it, I didn't do very, very well with it. But, somebody that has really good depth perception can really ace that. And that's a really, really good place for you to pick up points if you can do it.
It is, because it's typically a low scoring problem. And I've tried, out of all the years, I've tried to find a way to make it easier, and I still have yet to figure it out. Even, if it's a sunny day, I'm looking at the shadow, and they definitely know, because a lot of these judges have competed themselves.
Right.
So they know what you might be looking for, so they're going to try to avoid that also to make it, even harder, I remember one time looking at a crack on the ground,
right.
Just trying to look at something, just to make it, to identify, like, I'm getting closer, or maybe where somebody's standing, or, I mean, they know what they're doing. And,
they absolutely do. Because it is a competition and they want to see who the best of the best is. And I mean, just because you go through there and, if you win or lose, it doesn't take away who you are as a driver. But, these guys are going and they're competing, and it's just like any other competition. You want to win, and people will do whatever they can to gain an advantage in the process. And, that's fine. That's sports. That's competitions. That's anything that's out there. that you want to win, you're going to try and get an advantage. And that's usually the best way to prepare for something like that, is just, in my experience, paying attention to what you're doing as far as your driving goes. Watch what you're doing when you're making your turns. My biggest thing was, whenever I would make a turn from an intersection, I would try and get my trailer tires as close to that white line when I'm making my turn as I possibly could without touching it.
Right. Yep. I was a spotter for quite the number of years, and just moving trailers to and from the dock on the hub.
Right.
And so there was times where I would just back up over and over before I hit the dock plate. I'd try to see how close I could get. So I mean, you try to find ways to practice things, but ultimately, I told people the hardest part of everything for the competition is making it to the competition.
Right.
I mean, you got to go 1 year accident free. I mean, you got to be good standing with your company that you're driving for. But ultimately, that's the hardest part, is to even qualify. I drive through Chicago every day.
Right.
And a lot of these drivers, drive through other big cities, and again, we could say this for a different topic, but it's to go through all these big cities and still be able to qualify at the end of the year, that's something in itself to be proud of.
Oh, absolutely it is. And like you said, and I believe you also have to have a year with the same company, not
Yes.
not only in good standing, but you have to have a year driving with that company.
Right.
And so, like you said, getting there is the hardest part, and part of that is having a good team behind you, because it's not only accidents, it's also inspections.
Mhm.
It's speeding tickets. It's anything that takes you out of the competition that just that's not positive towards the trucking industry. So
Right.
you really have to work at it all year round, every year, in order to compete every year. And there's still some things that are completely out of your control. Like, you never know if somebody's going to be texting and driving and hit you in Kansas City, like some other driver that I know that shall remain nameless. But I hear that he's going to be volunteering this year, so go check him out at.
That's funny.
So are you going to be coming? Or no, you're not coming to the big show. You got Dan, or are you coming to the big show?
Well, Illinois is in June. Wisconsin, that's what, May. It's coming up next week, right?
Right. Yeah. Next weekend.
Right. Yeah. I was gonna try and make it up there. I'm actually, if I can make it, if Kim is listening, I will try and reach out to you to see if I can volunteer. But I'm sorry, if I can, it will be very last minute when I walk up there and tap you on the shoulder. So.
Well, just to put this out there, and make it clear, this video is not sponsored by the WMCA. This is just all on my own accord, and it's just because I love the competition, and I know Carl does as well, and that's why we wanted to talk about it today. And it's the best time to talk about it because it is next weekend. It's the WMCA Truck Driving Championship. It's going to be May 20th and the 21st at the Fox Valley Technical School in Appleton, Wisconsin. You can feel free to go over there. It's a free event. Bring some money for food, and they've got some other little competitions on the side. Kim said they've even got like some sort of gambling feature, roulette or something, to win prizes. It's not to win cash, obviously, because they can't do that there. But they've got bouncy houses for the kids. They've got Tesla driving experience, which I'm hoping the owner of the Tesla will let me put some GoPros on the car and have some fun with that. And then they're going to have, even bring the kids, because there's going to be a banquet later on in the night, where all the adults can go. And while you're at the event or while you're at the banquet, they're going to have somebody there watching the kids while they have pizza and watch a movie. So you get to go home and they're going to be passed out in the car because they're all full of pizza and just got done watching a movie, right?
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. They're definitely making it more and more kid friendly as the years go on. It's definitely a fun weekend for the whole family to do things. A lot of great food. I mean, the environment is just friendly. It's family oriented, and it's definitely a good time.
I mean, they're going to be serving breakbush chicken. I mean, what more do you want?
Yeah.
But if you're not aware of how to get to the Fox Valley Technical School, you can Google it or you can email me, and I will be happy to give you directions on how to get there because it's right off of Interstate 41 in Appleton. Real easy place to get to. Kim said the last time that she was here, if you want to volunteer, you can go to their website. That's witruck.org. It's witruck.org, and they've got a place for you to sign up. But if you come up and you say, hey, I want to volunteer on the day of the event, they're not going to turn you away. Right. So, I mean, that's the great thing about trucking. What other organization do you know of that you can just go up and you'd be like, hey, look, I'm a volunteer. And,
Right.
you know, they'd be like, no, sorry, we don't need you. Just go away now. You know what I mean?
Right.
Let's see here. We got Yads. She showed up. How you doing, Yads? Thank you for coming in because I know that you didn't get very much sleep at all because you finished your live stream, and I'm sorry. I'm just gonna put your channel up on the screen. Ryrika channel. I hope I didn't butcher that. I really, really hope I didn't butcher that. And if I did, I apologize. But I do have some comments that I saved from the chat. So far, I've got 5 of them. This one is from Chris Wedgeworth. He says the post-trip is more important than the pre-trip in real life. What's your comment on that?
It is important. I don't think it's more important than real life, but it's definitely important. I mean, you definitely got to pay attention and look for things, like I said, that aren't even that may or may not be there. You definitely got to look in every spot because you never know what they're going to plant to make it think that it's defective.
Right. And then we've got, let's see here, Moon over in Miami. He said that his dad was a truck driver. Well, as I say to anybody that tells me that, thank you very much for your service
Yes.
because it is a thankless job. But you know, there's only one way that we're going to be able to get stuff from point A to point B currently, and that is by a truck. Chris says that he has trained several drivers to drive Class A truck, and thank you for doing that because that in itself is a thankless job. I'm
Yes, it
sure
is.
I've trained Class A drivers, and I know, Carl, you had to have trained Class A drivers because you're way too smart not to.
Yes, yeah. I used to do a lot of the training, a lot of what do you call the road test for applicants. I used to do a lot of post-accident reviews, driver safety reviews, 90-day evaluations, and this was all with Class A vehicles, B vehicles, forklifts, yard trucks. So yeah, definitely had a lot of ride-alongs.
So I mean, you would probably consider yourself a pretty good source of information as far as the transportation goes, because didn't you say that you started in the transportation industry before you were even able to drive a truck?
Yeah, I started as a dock worker, right in high school. I didn't even graduate yet, but I was 18, and yeah, I started working the dock, third shift, and then And yeah, then I'd go to school, finish my classes in the morning, and then on my early release days, I'd go work the outbound and
Oh, wow.
load things up and just get familiarized with anything I could, because I knew this was what I wanted to do. And I always tell people, like, when I was studying for my CDL, I had my state book inside my math book, and I'm reading that, but and had that hidden because some stuff I didn't care about in school. I just wanted to drive a truck.
And let's see, Bob from Time to Get Going says that he gave up trucks for heavy equipment when he got drafted. Now, you know what? Heavy equipment is fun to play with. And, there's a place in Vegas that you can go that you just sit around and play with heavy equipment all day. So, there's nothing wrong with that. But Bob is kind of like the resident car guy. He likes to work on cars. He's also a heavy into the drones, and just all around great guy. But he was part of the Army Corps of Engineers, so smart guy too.
Yeah.
But if you want to stick around, that's pretty much the questions that I had written down for you. Is there anything that you wanted to add for that?
Well, I just want to say, good luck to everybody, competing in, in every state. If you don't do well, this time, keep trying next time. Again, the hardest thing is to be able to be eligible. That once you get to the course and everything, like I said, there's a lot of mentors around that have lots of experience. There's a lot of new people too that you can meet, and, you can work with each other. But the big thing is to just listen and follow by examples, and just you got to have fun. That's the main thing. And
Right.
I tell myself I got to sometimes listen to my own words and stuff, where I'm nervous, and a few times on the course I just want to just go through it real fast, split it in the high gear and just go. But there's times you just got to be patient, and just on focus, one thing at a time,
And like you said, remember that you're there to have a good time.
Right, yeah.
And make relationships with people.
Yes.
Don't stick yourself in a corner somewhere. Go around, talk to other drivers, because everybody's there for the same reason. Everybody's there to have a good time, and the people that you meet there, like I said, you're going to be friends for life. Honestly.
Oh yeah, definitely. I've come across people with different companies, and wouldn't say we bash each other on the companies on the CD, but sometimes we do. But then we get to the competition, we shake each other's hand, give each other a hug, and say, "Hey, good luck. Let me know how you do."
There's free hugs everywhere, really.
So yeah, it's a great time, and also too, doesn't really matter on the weather either, unless it's lightning out. I've seen it where they'll postpone it, but come prepared for that to, for pre-trip, make sure you bring your flashlight, you wear gloves, bring a tire knocker, or, wear a jacket, if it's cold out or stuff like that, because, you want to show that you're prepared also. Same thing with the obstacle course. If you, they've done it in the rain before, and in wind and stuff, but the lightning's the big problem. But I've only seen it postponed for a little bit because of lightning. But other than that, the weather doesn't really matter. They'll do the course.
Right.
So,
no, that's just one thing I wanted to bring up. Let's see here. Where did that thing go? I know it's here somewhere. And, it doesn't really matter as far as showing it. But it said that Bob from Time to Get Going said, you look so young. How old are you?
I'm 40.
You're 40.
Yeah, I just turned 40.
Yeah, so you're younger than I am.
I am. So.
I mean, I look great for 22. You know.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's the fresh shave and haircut. Maybe.
And then let's see here. Chris Wedgeworth got his commercial license in an international cab over with power steering. Congratulations on that, Chris. I mean, I did that. I did the skid pad training over at Fox Valley Technical College, and I did my skid pad training in a international cab over with power steering. And let me tell you, that was not a fun truck to drive.
Yeah, right.
And Bob from Time to Get Going said that where is that? He got his with twin sticks and no power.
Oh, wow.
Now that. You see, what we need to do is we need to find Bob a truck with twin sticks so that he can teach us all how to drive.
I was going to say, I've watched some YouTube videos, but he's got more experience with than me because
that's talent.
It is.
Oh, I'm sorry, Paul. I'm sorry. Chris Wedgeworth said without power steering.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I read that wrong, Chris. My bad. But no, like I said, I'm gonna keep you around for a little bit. The hard part's over. You can breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. I mean, you did fantastic, and I thank you for being here on the program. But for everybody that was wondering where Haley is today, because she wasn't here last week and now she's not here this week, she was down with my in-laws this weekend, and she actually helped them set up their backyard by if you can see down at the bottom where they've got let me get this out of here because that's going to block your view. Okay, now if you can see where all the rocks are with the little retaining portion there, she helped put that in. So she was digging and raking and then put up all these lights. So she wanted to share these pictures with everybody in the show because she's really proud of that, and I'm really proud of her for going down there and putting in all the hard work. I know that she's going to be watching this video later, so great job, Haley. I love you, and you did a great job with your parents this weekend, and I can't wait for you to start on our yard. And then I'm sure that this is the part of the show that everybody's waiting for, and I'll go for a little bit of an explanation. Oh, hang on. Have to run. Love you. Have leftover porchetta from last night. Okay, thanks, Dad. I appreciate you and Mom coming in tonight. But for everybody else that is still here, my last video that I released on Wednesday for my deliveries in Los Angeles, it went for a ride on the algorithm, and it got well, let's see. The last time that I looked, it was 2.9 thousand views, and I'm sure it's probably still the same, but it's been... Yep, it's still at 2.9 thousand views. But, I mean, it's the biggest video that I have on YouTube, and I did get quite a few subscriptions through it. I also got a lot of subscriptions through other channels like Yads, Bob over at Time to Get Going, Chris Wedgeworth, he's had a big hand in it, Stormy Sky Rail Productions, they've had a big hand in it, and I mean, I want to thank everybody for all of your support. Everybody that's here right now, I thank you all for your support. Now, unfortunately, I have to have rules for this contest, because what I'm going to be giving away... Let me clear my throat for a second. What I am going to be giving away is a shirt that's very similar to what I'm wearing right now. It has the JJDrones logo on the front, and then it's got the JJDrones logo on the back with "Follow me on YouTube" underneath. And whoever wins, if you decide that you would like to have your name on the t-shirt, I will have that put on there. If not, we don't need to do that. The biggest thing is, if you do win the prize, that you email me right away, give me your address, and then not only your address, but your shirt size and whether you want the name on the shirt or not. Unfortunately, this is going to have to be for U.S. U.S. members to my channel only because of shipping costs. So I apologize to anybody out there that would feel jaded because of that. Now let me go into the rules of the contest, because they are, well, there's not a lot of them, but you know, they're there, and there's a reason that they're there, unfortunately. And then if this starts playing, hang on. Okay, sorry about that. I had to go to my YouTube channel to read this. You have to be over the age of 18 and a U.S. resident. You must be willing to give up your address for me to ship your t-shirt for you, which should be pretty much self-explanatory. And the t-shirt will be made in any size that you need. Number 2, I will be choosing a winner using a pick a number process. On my phone here, I have a random number generator. And with the amount of people in the chat, I'm going to be picking a number 1 through 25. And I'm going to let the phone do the random number generator, and then I'm going to hit, or I'm going to say go, and there's going to be a green button that goes into the chat. After that, you will start picking numbers. You can pick one number, 1 through 25. You can't pick it before that green dot goes into the chat. And whoever picks closest to the number without going over, and I see it in my chat first because there may be somebody that picked the same number. Whoever picked that number first will be the winner if there's a tie. Like I said, you can only choose it after I say the contest is started, and you will be disqualified and not eligible for the shirt if you do it before the contest is started, and if you do it after the contest has ended. Well, no, not after the contest has ended, because I mean the chat is kind of laggy for me. So, but I will stop the contest with a red button, or with a red dot, and then that'll be the end of the contest. If you do not want to win the t-shirt, please do not participate unless you would like to donate your prize to another person in the chat. T-shirt will be made after the contest for the size wanted, so please give it time to be made and then shipped after, but I will get it to you. Rule number 5, t-shirt will be an exact replica of mine that I wear on the live stream. If you like your name placed above the pocket, let me know at the end, at the time of giving the size request. And 6, you must be a subscriber. Hopefully that answers any of the questions about the rules. I'm going to look in the chat and see if there's anybody that has questions. Okay. Stormy Sky Real Productions, you're getting a lot of static. I'm sorry. Has it been that way the entire time, or is that just when I was reading the rules? Is that better now or worse? Do you hear static, Carl?
No. When you were reading some of the rules, you were static. But now you're
okay.
fine.
So okay. The rules are all listed underneath the video in the description below. But basically, it boils down to that I'm going to right now on my phone, and I'm not going to show you what the number is after, but I'm going to do a test just to show you how this thing works. If I can find the random Okay. And Carl, you can compete too, as my guest.
Oh, okay.
So here, I don't know if you can see that or not, but the settings are 1 to 25. And then I hit the button that says, let's see if I can do this here. I hit the button here, it says randomize, and it picked 20 that time. Okay? So it's completely random. I have no idea what number it's going to pick. So now this is for people in the U.S., and I apologize that I can't ship to other countries, but I'm basically doing this all on my own. And then as soon as you see, let's see here. As soon as you see the green dot, you can start putting in your guesses, numbers 1 to 25. And go. Okay, I have the number. The number is now completely locked in. Did you do a guess, Carl?
Not this time, because I got my phone.
Oh, okay. Okay. Gotcha. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's fine.
All right, so we've only got a few people in here. I'm going to give it another 20 seconds, and then I'm going to stop because I think that's pretty much all that we have left here. So I just need to get this red dot ready to go. And 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right. I think that's fair. Carl?
Yes.
What is your verbal guess?
Probably 12.
12. That is Carl's guess. The number that was chosen by the randomizer is 10. Congratulations, Chris Wedgeworth. You are the winner of the JJDrones t-shirt. That's how we do it. And Chris actually said if he won, he donates it to you, Carl. So, Chris, is that the way you want to do it? Let me know. Because okay, Carl, you just won yourself a JJDrones t-shirt. Congratulations, courtesy of Chris Wedgeworth over there in California.
Well, thank you, Chris. That's very nice of you.
Awesome. So, well, that's easy enough. You can give me your shirt size and everything, and I can either ship it to you or just give it to you.
Right, yeah, exactly.
And I want to thank the sponsor of this giveaway, JJDrones YouTube channel. And then my sister-in-law for agreeing to do this with my channel. So her name is Katie Johnson. She doesn't have a company that I'm aware of. So, Katie, thank you so much for your support and for making the t-shirts. That's pretty much it, Carl. What do you think of the show?
Oh, it's a great show. I look forward to talking to you more and yeah, just chatting. So it's a fun time.
All right. Well, I appreciate you being on the show. I'm going to let you go and close it out.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I thought that was an amazing show. I loved being able to talk about the Truck Driving Championship. I hope anybody that is in the area, especially you guys over there at Stormy Sky Rail Productions, Jenny and Steve, are able to make it to the Truck Driving Championship, because it's a great time. Everybody there is friendly. Bring the kids. It's a family event. It's again the Wisconsin Motor Carriers Association Truck Driving Championship, May 20th and the 21st at the Fox Valley Technical School in Appleton, Wisconsin. Now, I appreciate everybody here that showed up. Let's see here. We got Yad says, great job, Jason. Stormy Sky Rail Productions. Email me at my email address, jason@jjdrones360.com. I will give you my text message, or I will give you my phone number so you guys can text me when you guys come up. And that'll be the easiest way for me to do it, because I don't even know where Kim's going to put me. I just know she's going to put me somewhere. Oh, that reminds me. Programming note for next Sunday. I am not going to be doing a live, because I am going to be busy trying to pack up my RV and bring it back home. But I will be doing pop-up lives on Saturday during the Truck Driving Championship. So I don't know when they're going to be. I can't give you a time, so watch your notifications. And if you're not subscribed to the notification bell, make sure that you are. Otherwise, you're not going to know when my pop-up live starts. And I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of stuff for me to show you from the competition. And thank you, Chris Wedgeworth, for letting me know. Or thank you for the congratulations on the 200 subs. Jenny and Steve, thank you as well for the congratulations. And everybody, go and subscribe to everybody else that was here, especially Stormy Sky Rail Productions. They are almost at 1,000. You guys needed it. Or you guys didn't need it, but you guys deserve to have the 1,000 subs. You really, really do. And I gained one during the stream. That's awesome. Thank you all so much for coming along for this ride with me. And I will see you all later. Hopefully in person, Jenny and Steve, down the road. Bye-bye.